Welcome back to Coloring Through the Bible. Today we're taking a look at Genesis 27, which tells us the story of Jacob receiving the blessing from Isaac that should have gone to Esau. So if you remember, Esau was the older brother, and as such, he should have received his father's blessing. It was like his inheritance. However, way back before either one of these men were born, God had told their mother that the younger brother would be served by the older brother, that the younger brother would be more important. And from that moment on, Rebecca started trying to manipulate things, and then as well as Jacob started trying to manipulate things to make God's promise come true. Jacob took advantage of his brother's hunger to kind of trick him into allowing him to purchase his birthright for a bowl of soup. And then Rebecca concocts this incredibly elaborate plan to deceive her husband into thinking that Jacob was the older brother. And all of these schemes and manipulations and taking advantage of each other, it destroyed their family so much so that these two brothers not only hated each other, but one was the other one was going to kill him. That's the depth of the hatred. All because these people tried to manipulate circumstances to try and force God's plan into action. And I think that we run the same risk of destroying everything when we try to manipulate circumstances. See, God's will doesn't need our plans to fulfill it. Now, hear me out here. We may not think that we're doing what Rebecca and Jacob did, and maybe we don't to as large of a scale. But any time that we see the direction that God is calling us to go, and then we run. We don't wait for God's timing. We just run with it. Anytime we try to make a decision to kind of force that promise into fulfillment, we're doing the same thing. See, God's timing as he's leading us is very important. And when we just run ahead because we think we know where we should be going, or even if we do know where we're going, we may be getting there too quickly. We'll be missing the journey because God has planned this out according to his timing. And sometimes that journey is filled with lessons that we need to be able to truly be a success when God calls us to be where he's called us to be. And if we skip those lessons, we may still end up in the same place, but really the blessings won't be the same because we won't have prepared for it. We try to help God out, but we need to remember that God is so much bigger than us. He doesn't need our help to fulfill his plan. He doesn't require our advice, just our faith. He's the God who created the entire universe with a handful of words. And sometimes I think that we forget how powerful he is because our problem looks so big in our eyes, it blinds us to God's provision. But we need to fight that natural urge to do it ourselves. Let's take a breath, let go of the reins, get out from behind that steering wheel and let God drive us. But while we're sitting in that back seat, we need to resist the urge to be a backseat driver. God knows what he's doing. We just need to be obedient and faithful and let him lead. Because God's plans will be fulfilled through patient obedience, not stubborn manipulation. I hope that you've been blessed this week through all of these devotions, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a truly blessed and wonderful weekend. We'll see you later.